Hi team, welcome to the 15th of May 2020. We're going to get straight into today's workout. Let's start with today's warm-up. The warm-up is going to start with a 60-second run, bike or row. In this video I've opted for a 60-second on-the-spot jog. 3, 2, 1, go! Next up is going to be alternating scorpions. That's when you're lying on your belly and you're going to take your opposite leg to your opposite hand, meaning left leg to right hand, right leg to left hand. If you can't reach your hand, that's okay. Just try to reach as far as you can and get a slight stretch. Main focus here is to get the blood flowing and get the heart rate slightly up. Next up is going to be Samson pulses. This is when you get into a Samson lunge. Right? Keep your glutes squeezed and your abs engaged. Try to pulse forward, emphasizing the stretch on your hip flexor. It's going to be 30 seconds on each side. Next up is going to be an arch hold. This is when you're on your belly. You're going to keep your abs and glutes engaged. Lift your hands and feet off the floor. Try to keep your legs straight. Try to get your thighs off the ground. Lift your head and hands as high as you can. Next up is going to be a dive bomber push-up. Your setup is going to be a downward dog position with your feet slightly apart. And you're going to dive down as though you're going under a low barrier and then reverse the movement back to the downward dog. Repeat this for 30 seconds. Scaling options would be placing your knees on the floor as you dive down so as to decrease the load on the shoulders. Next up is a slight bodyweight complex. It's an inchworm. You crawl out to a plank, do one scapular push-up, and from there go down, cobra, and straight into a downward dog. Repeat this for 30 seconds. And the last warm-up movement is going to be plank shoulder taps. You hold a strong push-up plank, right, and tap your shoulders left to right, shifting weights throughout the 30 seconds. After that, we're going to repeat that whole set of movements for another round, starting with the run, bike, or row. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Next up, alternating scorpions. Ready? 3, 2, 1, and go! Next up, it's going to be our Samson pulses, set up in the half kneeling position. Keep your glutes engaged and your core engaged. Ready, and go! Next up, arch holds. You're going to lie on your belly and lift your feet off the floor. Ready, and hold. You're going to feel the musculature in your calves, hamstrings, glutes, lower back, upper back, and shoulders work here. Next up, dive bomber push-ups. Ready, 3, 2, 1, and go! Straight into those inchworms, cap push-up, cobra to downward dog combo. capping your warm-up off with 30 seconds of plank shoulder taps. Now that we're done with the warm-up, we're going to go straight into the workout. Today is a 20-minute EMOM of 6 to 8 Bulgarian split squats on each leg, followed by a 45-second handstand hold, 16 to 20 dumbbell snatches, and finally 45-second plank holds. First up is your Bulgarian split squats. You're going to hold a weight, or you can go weightless as well. Set up one foot behind you slightly elevated. If setting it elevated is slightly difficult, you can also place it lower to the ground. Notice the split squats here come with a number at the end of 3-1-1-1. That would be a 3-second descent, a 1-second hold at the bottom, a 1-second ascend, and a 1-second hold at the top. Next up is a 45-second handstand hold. You can either opt for a freestanding handstand attempts, you can do a kick up onto a wall, or you can do a wall climb and hold the top position for anywhere between 30 to 45 seconds. Next up is a alternating dumbbell snatches. You can opt for 16 to 20 reps here. The 1 minute should be just enough for you to complete the 16 to 20 reps. And finally, we get into a 45-second plank hold. Spread your shoulder blades apart, keep your pelvis tucked, and your abdominals engaged. Ready for Bulgarian split squats? 3, 2, 1, go! Ready for handstand holds? 3, 2, 1, go! Ready for dumbbell snatches? 3, 2, 1, go! Ready for planks. 3, 2, 1, hold. Let's repeat everything for another 2 more rounds, starting with your Bulgarian split squats. 3, 2, 1, and go. Handstand holds. 3, 2, 1, and go. Alternating dumbbell snatches. Ready? 3, 2, 1, and go. Planks. 3, 2, 1, go. one more round here. Bulgarian split squats. 3, 2, 1, go. Handstand holds. 3, 2, 1, go. Dumbbell snatches, ready, and go. Elbow planks, ready, 3, 2, 1, and go. Nice work, guys. That concludes the chunk of today's work. Next up, we're going to move to our accessory work. Take a couple of minutes break, and I'll see you back here shortly for our accessory. This accessory work will consist of 3 rounds of 6 kneeling Arnold presses per arm, followed by 30-second rest, 10 dumbbell or kettlebell bent over rows, followed by 15 overhead tricep extensions. For your kneeling Arnold presses, you're going to get into a kneeling position. If your right foot is forward, the dumbbell will be on the left hand. If your left foot is forward, your dumbbell will be on the right hand. You're going to start with the dumbbell in front of you, and as you press, you're going to turn your shoulders so that your palms will face the other way. If you notice, there's a tempo here as well of 2-1-1-1. That's taking 1 second to press it up, 2 seconds to lower it down, 1 second hold at the bottom and at the top. Make sure to keep your belly engaged and your glutes engaged as well. Next up is going to be bent over rows. And grab onto 2 dumbbells. Can also be done with 1 dumbbell at a time. Alright, set up into a bent over position. Pull your elbows behind you, squeezing your upper back muscles, your lats, even the musculature under your armpit. Finally, we're going to get into 15 tricep overhead extensions. Grab a dumbbell or kettlebell overhead, bend at the elbows, and flex your tricep, extending your arms into the ceiling. Do keep in mind the tempo of 2-0-1-0. That is a 2-second descent, 0 seconds at the bottom, 1 second ascend, and a 0 second return. Now that we're done with one set, let's get ready for set number 2. Half kneeling Arnold presses, ready and go. Bent over rows. Ready and go. Overhead tricep extensions. Ready and go. One more set here, starting with our half kneeling Arnold presses. 3, 2, 1, and go. Bent over rows. 3, 2, 1, and go. Tricep overhead extensions. 3, 2, 1, and go. That concludes the accessory work. Feel free to take a walk for about 5 to 10 minutes or pace around the house just to catch your breath and relax a little bit before we get into our stretches. For the stretches, there'll be 2 simple stretches here, 1 to 2 minute holds for each. First one being a side kneeling lat stretch, followed by a frog stretch. For your side kneeling lat stretch, set up with your hips above your knees in a kneeling position. Crawl your hands towards one side. If you're crawling towards your right, you're going to get your left armpit to the ground. If you want it to stretch your tricep a little bit more, you can bend your arm, which is closer to the ground. And finally, on our frog stretch, you're going to set up with your knees apart. Make sure the line between your hips and knees are same, and you're going to try to spread your knees as far apart as possible. Remember, anytime you stretch, there should be a slight discomfort, no blinding pain whatsoever. That concludes today's workout. Thank you very much for joining me. Hope you guys are staying safe. See you again tomorrow.